Oh, good morning. I didn't sleep very well. Lots of very unusual dreams. There's still so much that needs to be done. I'm gonna meet with some people today and I'm just gonna ask a lot of questions and see if I can make this process easier for the rest of my family. Because I really feel like it's actually more difficult for them. For me, it's really easy as far as knowing that my mom, she knew what she was doing. We don't want to admit it, but our parents love us so much they'll do anything for us. And sometimes I feel so guilty for how giving she's always been, even when she had nothing to give. But she also knew that whenever I could, I would do anything for her too. You know, years ago, I'll never forget, I flew her when I was in the Air Force to Italy. She flew into Venice and then stayed with me, and I think she was with me 3 months, and then she left out of Belgium where I was stationed because I was working in Italy at the time. And one of my friends, I introduced her to a friend, and we were invited to go with a bunch of the Italian men to a special dinner, which was usually only the Italian men and no women. So it was just us 2 women. And my mom was so cute. She's from the generation that used to say, "Oh, they pinch your butt. I came to Italy to have my butt pinched." And that was beautiful memories. I took her to the Uffizi Museum in Florence and Il Duomo, and we went to dinner, and it was so many amazing experiences she got to have and I got to experience with her together, my mom. And it was so cute because when we were in Florence, she was like, we had gone in so many museums because that was always something we shared, was our love of art. And she said, "Wow, oh my gosh, I'm just, it's so overwhelming. It's just so rich. It's so amazing. We need to go I need to soak it all in," because that's how my mother was. And we went to this Enoteca, and when you think of a wine bar, it's not just wine, it's amazing foods. And the man took care of us, lovely food and beautiful red wine, and my mother was just in heaven and enjoying the experience that we were having, and just recounting the beautiful paintings and the art and the architecture and the city and the people and the food and the flavors and the sensuality, engaging her senses and really partaking. And like I said to her last night when I was whispering in her ear, I said, I just wanted to be able to do that again with you. I wanted to take her back to Europe and travel again with her. I wanted to be able to do so many things. I wanted to get her a nice home. But my situation has been very strange. I've never been in a situation like I am right now, which life teaches us resilience, and life sometimes puts us through situations we can't understand at the time. But I know there's always a reason. But my mom, she sacrificed a lot. She made sacred us children. She made everybody sacred. And quite often at her own expense, and her own lack of self-worth and love. And that's, like I said, why I do what I do. Because I saw her value and her worth. And I still do. And I will continue to do what I do. Now I just need to amp it up, and now she's going to be a stronger wind beneath my wings than she ever was. Now I feel she's more available without her physical body to me as a mentor and an inspiration. And all those times she said she wanted to help me, was unable to follow through. like I said to her, now she has no restrictions. She's like the butterfly transformed, the free bird. Yeah. Tough day. And I don't know how long this will last, but I can only say it'll last as long as it does.
Another bathroom stop. So I'm at Whole Foods with Tom. We just had some breakfast. I've been sitting down making phone calls. It's not always easy having to be the one to step into roles that are nobody wants to make these choices. Nobody wants to be confronted with losing their parent. Nobody wants to be in a position of making all the choices when everybody else is off in different directions, trying to avoid the confrontation of the events that are occurring. I know this, and I know that's why my mom would have known that I would do this. I've consulted with my Auntie Barbara. She's been a huge support, and I'm so grateful. So in the midst of me just saying now that how much I'm grateful for my Auntie Barbara for being here, because she's been through this numerous times with my aunts and with my grandmother. She's opened my eyes to a lot of things and made me feel more confident in knowing that I'm meant to step up, because there are decisions that some of my other family members are just not comfortable with at the moment. And I want to take the burden off of that. So I'm trying to align it so that we're all in agreement and not going against, but at the same time knowing what's best for the situation of my mother. So we have an appointment with the funeral home, and it looks like we're going to decide upon this place, and I'm grateful for that.
Okay, so here I am again, late at night whispering. This has been one of the more difficult days, and one of my shorter blogs for certain, for good reason. You know, we all want to think when family comes together, things are going to go smoothly, that everything's going to be hunky-dory and easy peasy, and everyone's going to agree, and everybody's going to be able to step up and do things, even the difficult things. And you know, I don't know how long it's going to take to grieve my mom. I know that there are going to be days I'm going to be so angry that she's gone, and days that I wish I could pick up the phone and call her. Because that's a process of how we mourn and how we grieve. And I whispered in her ear the other night, I'm going to cry rivers because I love you so much. But I'm also going to smile and look for signs that I know how you show up in my life. Rainbows and butterflies and birds singing and flowers. There's so many ways I know she already does and is showing up in my life. My mom truly did give her life for me and my sisters. There's no doubt in my mind. And each one of us is grieving in our own ways, and sometimes when it's so overwhelming, the different ways that we cope or distract ourselves from feeling that pain. Again, this is why I'm super passionate about feeling it to heal it. You can try to take charge of the situation and all of your external stuff. All that's doing is taking away from focusing in on the internal stuff. You can say, oh, I'm good with all this. I'm in a good state of mind. But see, there's the aspect again that when we're emotional, we become irrational. We're unable to make rational decisions because it's emotionally based. And that emotion is showing that you're not sitting with and fully feeling what is coming up. Emotions actually originate in the brain, in the mind, and it's all ego-driven. When we become neutral, or if we sit with our heart and we recognize what it is, yeah, it may feel painful, but it's because we care. We can get angry, but it's because we care. And we're human. And so we're all going to cope and process and handle it in different ways. Each person, when you come together with family in these situations, I've learned, we want others to be where we're at when we're ready. Or maybe others want you to slow down because they're not ready. And something I felt like my mother reached out to me knowing. My mom has always taught me, showed me that my path has been one of a leadership role. I'm not here to boss anyone around. I'm not here to take away from anyone. But I am here to step up in a position where I can ease the choices and corral us in a loving way that not everybody is burdened with the heaviness of the difficult decisions that need to be made. So when I woke up this morning, and I have some of my own irritations. My biggest irritation has been knowing my mom has been ready, and I felt her heart. I may not have seen her for over 8 years, but I feel the sacrifice she made in this time. I wasn't ready to lose her yet. Of course, I didn't want to ever lose her. I wanted to spend so much more time with her. But she knew that I would want and proceed with what was right for her. And so I started the day with my focus on the next step. It would have been nice to have taken time for my own self-healing and reflection, but that can wait because I came here for her. And I knew I was good with her passing, and I felt very blessed to be a part of that time. 18 minutes she held on after they took the tube out. As significant as the 18, I was born on the 1st of August. She passed on the 8th of June of 2018. My gosh, here I am digressing into the 1900s. You know, between words and numbers, my mom shows up in miraculous and amazing ways that I can appreciate. My sisters can probably appreciate in their own ways because we each had different relationships with her. My main relationship with my mom has always been my prayer for her to find her joy, to find her peace, knowing how much she deserved to live a much more amazing, beautiful life. I have so many amazing memories. And I'll continue to hold those dear to me in my heart. So today was a very difficult day because I watched my siblings going through conflict, and I've had my conflict. I had a lot more conflict last night. But I know and knew I had to step up to do things that would support my sisters. And so I did. And it brought up a lot of emotions in all of us. It brought up some old patterns that also, for each person, each one of us, need to be looked at and sat with. My sister Lita, I love her so much. We want to make sure she's taken care of, because my mother did everything to make sure she had support here. My mom would be the first person Lita would turn to, and now she's lost that. So now it's a new start for her, to where she has to find her way without that support. And I'm not here, and my other sisters aren't here. And so I'm a little scared for her, but I have a lot of faith in her too. Yeah. I'm just grateful I was able to be here when I got here, that I had Tom's support, because a lot of things had to happen that I don't think anybody else wanted to deal with. And I'm extremely grateful to be been able to step into those roles. And the reason I say that is because I graciously, with appreciation in my heart, that I could be trusted with that. And so again, all I can say, if you have family and loved ones, and you ever have to go through something like this, just know you're going to get through it. And don't make things personal. Think of the individual and what they would want and wish, not what you want or would want for them. Hopefully this is a great lesson for many out there. Don't wait till it's too late. Number one, to tell people you love them, but number two, to not leave behind the chaos of what's the next step. I'm very fortunate, being a veteran, that I can go to the VA and I can share what my benefits are already taken care of. If I need to go to a home, or, like, if I have my benefits set up. I initially had my mom on my insurance policy and my sisters, but now I'm going to be putting it just my sisters for now. It really alleviates the struggles and the complications that come up, that if you have nothing designated, sometimes the state will step in. But fortunately, my mom was very much loved. And even with the little struggles that we may be dealing with, or the challenges, we're still together, and we're still here to support one another. We're just grieving through the process. And that's the biggest thing to recognize, is have compassion first for yourself, because if you don't have it for yourself, you can't extend it to anybody else. Misery might like company, but it's not about being miserable. It's about feeling through what's processing. You have to honor everything that comes up. You don't need to lash it out at anybody. You have to honor what's within you. Trying to control the external circumstances just removes you from going through the emotions and the feelings and the process that you need to go through. And I think it's very common that most people who go through something like this will neglect that aspect and will turn around and get fixated on the busyness around, because that's easier, and it is easier. But that other stuff will surface at some point, so work through it when you can. So we're exploring an Airbnb. we needed our space as well. And Lita needed a lovely bubble bath this evening. So thank you again for all of your well wishes, your love, your prayers. My mom, she's in a better place now. I love you. Sweet dreams. You be you. And be true to you. Because you can only do you.